So basically, it's Sunday. It's gonna be like 80 degrees today. It's beautiful. So obviously, I gotta go out, film some videos, get some cool shots. So that's basically what today's video is. Just kind of going out, enjoying the weather because it's been raining for like a week straight here, and this is like the first warm, sunny day in a long time. Also, I just cleaned like all my lenses and filters and stuff for the first time in like a week. And it's crazy how much dust just builds up in a week span. I'm just sitting there too, because I haven't really used them much recently because I've been so focused on school and stuff. We made it out of the house now that we're out here in the woods filming and stuff. Basically, I'm out here filming, trying to get some video ideas because recently I've had the urge to just want to create videos, but I can't think of things to talk about. So we're out here getting some cool shots up on this little ledge right here, seeing if we can find anything inspiring out here to make some sort of video about it. Alright, so one thing I want to talk about in today's video specifically is about mixing different lenses, getting different shots in many different environments. So I always carry two lenses on me. I only own two lenses. I own the 10-18 for nice wide angle shots, and I have the 18-55 if I want to go into more detail. And comboing these two lenses definitely does work, because basically that 18-55 kind of heads on where the wide angle one leaves off. And just mixing different types of shots. If you're shooting the same scene, throw on different lenses, try a wide shot, try a tight shot, try a couple medium shots in there, and just kind of mix them all through a sequence to make it seem more interesting, so it's not only wide or it's not only shot in more of a telephoto range. And Lewis here brought up a good point. If you're using a phone, they make different lens kits for you. You can buy a wide angle lens, you can buy a tighter lens for your phone. So even if you're only using a cell phone, you can still get the kind of same effect as a DSLR, just it won't be as high quality obviously, but it'll still work extremely well. Phones have come such a long way that you can definitely make some great cinematic videos with just a cell phone. So basically this is the other lens I carry. This is the 18-55. Now I'm going to do two shots of Willis sitting in one of the trees. I'm going to show it at 18mm, then I'm going to zoom in to 55mm just to kind of show you the difference you can get. And in the background, look for the depth of field, look for how the background lines kind of shrink and you can only see a smaller section of the background at a tighter range. So let's do this. Alright, now we're going to make our way off this hill. I'm going to send the drone up, get some cool shots with the drone. And that's another thing, if you have access to a drone, definitely use it in your cinematic sequences, just because they do add some great context for where you are, because you can get high up in the air and they're relatively wide angle too. So it's just great for surrounding shots. And I've made a whole video in the past talking about the role of drones in filmmaking. I'll leave the link in the little end card at the end of the video. We just found this random spot because we walked back in this one sidewalk, it looked like it went somewhere and it didn't. And it kind of split off into like a little trail, and now we're here. I don't know, it's weird because like there's no like posted private property signs or anything, so like I don't know, I'm assuming it's kind of just one of them things that's like you walk back there, I guess you find it. And we're back after that fun shoot Willis, and as I talked about outside, I only own two lenses, the 10-18 and the 18-55. And I'm mixing these lenses. Filmmakers in Hollywood do it all the time, especially in movies when they want to portray different points. For example, if you're shooting a wide fight scene in an alleyway, you're going to want to use a more wide angle lens to try to get everything in there to capture the whole environment. Or if you're filming more of a sports movie and you want to get into like an actor running a ball for one final play, you're going to want to get more of a tight lens so you can get right in there and all the action. And a medium shot is mainly used for if a character's about to say something really interesting, or maybe it's like a slow pan in with like maybe like a 35mm lens to get that cinematic motion blur, but not to have the background completely disappear because you're shooting it so much tighter. For example, right now my face is really close and you guys can only see a small section of the background, so let me move out of frame. As you guys can see, you can only see the door when I'm in at 55mm. Now if I zoom all the way out, then you can see my entire room, so just changing the focal length really changes what you can see of the background. And that can kind of help if you're in more of a tight space and you only want a certain section of the background, then shooting on a tight lens would make sense. And comboing this lens with the 18-55 definitely works extremely well, especially for my type of filmmaking. I like to switch from wide shots to tight shots, different things like that, just because I think it personally spices up this sequence a little more. If you only shoot it wide, then it's going to kind of get a little boring. You're going to see the same type of shot the entire time. Another thing I want to talk about is if you use a more tight lens, you got to have better stabilization. So this lens, for example, I can throw it on my camera, I can walk around, get a bunch of cool shots, and it's relatively stable table because it's just so wide. But this lens, if I'm punching in the 55 millimeters, I gotta be so much more careful and meticulous with my movement because I'm zoomed up on a smaller part of the frame. That means there's a greater chance of introduction of shake in the image because it's so tight. And this 18 to 55 still does go into some decent detail. So if I want to get more of a tight shot to kind of get that cinematic look, then this lens will still work for that. And they make plenty of different versions of this lens. For example, there's an EFS version of this lens that's a 17 to 55 f2.8. Granted, it's a much bigger lens, but it's a lot faster. And second of all, it's just a lot higher quality lens. You know, that thing's $800. It has amazing stabilization. It's very, very sharp. And as I said, that f2.8 is just incredible. It just melts the background away. So yeah, swapping lenses during your sequence is actually a great thing to do. It allows you to get a whole world of different shots. And that's kind of a reason you'd want to buy something like a DSLR or something, because you have all that versatility with different lenses. Now, something like this is still pretty great. This is the Canon PowerShot SX60HS with that crazy 65 optical zoom. So it goes from this relatively wide shot, and I can zoom in all the way to 65 optical zoom, which is about the equivalent of a 1100 millimeter lens. So this camera is very versatile, but the only problem is because it's a built-in lens, it won't be as sharp as something like this. You also won't be able to upgrade it, so you're stuck with the lens that's built into this camera. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thank you all for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.